Being an introverted person is not a bad thing. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Minka, and if you like this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the small bell icon by the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. Today I really want to talk about a subject that is very important to me, and this is whether I think being an introverted person is a bad thing. The definition of an introverted person is a shy, reticent person. So basically introverted means that you're a shy person, you're very shy, and you may not be outgoing, you may be outgoing. It just kind of depends. Everyone is different. I know I am a very introverted person, okay? Like, I am so shy, and I know I may not appear shy in my YouTube videos, but I am, if you meet me in person, I'm a very shy person. I'm very quiet. When I was in high school and middle school and even college, I'm still in college, but when I was in my first years of community college, in all of my school time, I never raised my hand. I just always kept to myself, you know? I never really had a lot of friends. I always had like one good friend, and my family moved a lot when I was younger, so I had like one good friend per school year, so I would just hang out with them. I was never really into the whole like, you know, group friends and stuff, like just being in groups, because every time I would be in a group with a group of friends, I was just so quiet, you know, and I never wanted, it was not very personal to me. I don't think being introverted is a bad thing, because it's okay if you're a shy person, it's okay if you're quiet. You don't have to feel like you have to put yourself out there if you don't want to, unless you want to, but you don't need to feel like you need to do things that make others happy. Like, I know people who they think being introverted is not a good thing, you know. They think you should be extroverted, they think you should be like partying all the time, they think you should be a very social person all the time, and that's just not who we are. Like me, for instance, I am not like a party person. I'd rather sit in my room and read, honestly, with my cat. So I don't think it's a bad thing, and everyone has their own opinion about whether they think it is. I do think being introverted, though, is a bad thing. If you're just sitting in your room all day and you're afraid to like go outside, then I think that's a bigger issue. You would need to seek some professional help for that. Like, you know, if you're just afraid of the entire world and you're not doing things for yourself, you're not doing fun things, you're not working, you know, whatever it is, then I think that's an issue. But you know, if you're just like a more studious type, or you have a certain hobby that you just really like focusing on and doing, that's completely fine, you know, as long as you're not hurting anyone or hurting anyone else. You know, like, I made a video about having social anxiety, and I'll put a card right up here so you guys can go check it out if you haven't seen it. And I just basically talk about how I am a very socially awkward person, and how social anxiety is such a huge thing to me, because I do not like big groups at all, and I'm a very socially awkward person. And I used to think that was a really bad thing, and it's not a bad thing, because when I stopped thinking it was a bad thing, I was so much happier because I was being myself, you know? Like, I wasn't forcing myself to do things I didn't want to do, and I wasn't betraying who I really felt like I was. I'm just a naturally quiet person. So if I feel like putting myself out there more or talking more when I'm in a situation with someone, or just doing more extroverted things, then I will do that if I want to. But if I don't want to, I'm not going to. And no matter what anyone says, you don't have to either. You know, if you do your thing, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, you can do what you want, and you don't have to feel like you have to be like someone else or be a very talkative, active person if you're not. Like, I personally, the weird thing is growing up, I always had friends that were very extroverted, and I never really had any friends that were introverts. So that's very interesting to me. My husband, he's a very extroverted person too. Like, he really is, and it's good because it kind of balances us out. but he's also a very quiet person too at home. It just depends, you know. Overall, he's an extroverted, but he can be introverted too. He also does introverted things. Like, he'd rather stay in at night, you know, that kind of thing. I just hear it so many times, and I really wanted to make this video because I feel like people who are shy are just made to feel like they just have to, like, you know, just put themselves in situations that stress them out and are just very uncomfortable. And I know we hear a lot, get out of your comfort zone and all that, but I think that there comes to a point where you don't need to put yourself out of your comfort zone if you're having major anxiety from it, or if you're constantly stressing about these things. Like, I have forced myself into certain situations in my past that gave me so much anxiety, but I thought I had to do it because someone else told me I should, because I needed to be more outgoing. So I think that being an introvert is fine, you know? It's fine. Just be yourself. If anyone else is forcing you to be a more outgoing person, and if you don't want to, then you totally don't have to, okay? Like, I have so much more peace now that I'm doing things that I want to do and that make me have peace and that make me feel happy. You know, certain things, just whatever it is. If you're making yourself happy, then you will be a much happier person. I'm speaking from experience with that. You know, if you're being forced to do something, or if you're being forced to believe in something, or if you're being threatened into believing in something that you know is not right, and you just know in your heart is not right, then all of these things, like, they can make you feel horrible about yourself because you're not being your true self. And it's the same when you're being forced to be a more extroverted person, but you're a more introverted person. That's fine. And a lot of times in today's world, we do hear, like, you need to be more outgoing to succeed, and you need to be more talkative. I don't know if that's true, honestly, but for me, I'm just being myself. I think it's important to be yourself, you know. So that's, to me, the most important thing. So anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!